welcome to my review of the Comma Ai X3 paired with a Kia EV6. I've had the car for just over a year now, and then a few weeks after getting the car I got the Comma Ai brought over from America. So yeah, having driven it for an actual year, I feel like I'll be able to review share how it is driving it on a day-to-day basis. For me on the motorways, it's completely game changer. You don't realize until you try a system like this how tiring it is when you're in a normal car making tiny little adjustments non-stop, mainly when you're doing a very long drive. So yeah, I've had this car, I've not had to touch the steering wheel for hours at a time if I'm doing a long drive, and at the end of that long drive I find I'm so much less tired, and it's because I'm pretty much a passenger right now. Neither of my feet are touching the pedals, hands aren't on the steering wheel. The camera there is telling, if I don't block the camera or hypothetically look on a phone, it will beep at you and tell you to pay attention and deactivate if you're on your phone for too long, or if you're on your phone at all, it'll deactivate. But yeah, on motorways it's incredible. Like, to change lanes I've got it set up so that all I have to do is indicate and it will change lanes for me. So I'll wait for this car to pass, pop the indicator on, and voila. It'll maintain speed correctly. It will do, yeah, on the motorways it's incredible. It's really, really good. Another safety feature that it's got, if you indicate and there's a car there, or there's a car next to you, it won't let you make that turn. So let me see. You see there, it just warned, car detected in blind spot. Now that car's passed, if I indicate to the left, it will change lanes. So yeah, for the motorways it's perfect. I'll be sat there with my partner with my arms crossed, and I made this remark that I remember a few weeks after I got it set up, I was overly excited by the whole thing, and I'd be driving somewhere with my partner, and like I am now with my feet not on the pedals, not really having to hold the steering wheel, and I'd say to her, I'm doing the same amount of effort as you right now, we're just passengers, all I'm having to do is stay alert in case something were to happen, then I'd just take over, but we're both going to arrive at that destination equally as tired, because yeah, I'm not having to make those micro adjustments the whole time. For the motorways, I can't fault it, it's perfect. For A roads, it's also great. For really small roads, obviously it can't do roundabouts. I think even if it was smart enough to navigate roundabouts, it's not allowed to put enough or put that much torque into the steering wheel. So it wouldn't actually be capable of doing it. But like I said, even if it was just for the motorways, I would still get it, because yeah, for long distances it just makes it so easy and so nice. Another setting that I find quite good for motorway driving is the distance between my car and the car in front. If you see here, it's set to 3. Yeah, 4 is the maximum distance, and then incrementally goes closer, but I found 3 is like a good medium, good middle ground. I never want to be too close to the car, especially when it's driving for you. You don't want to be, it just gives you more time to react if you ever needed to react. I don't think I ever have. I think even when a car slams its brakes on, this car slows itself down in anticipation. Like, it tells you, I think it might say it here, yeah, real distance 46 meters from that car. Let me just accelerate and see. Yeah, 30. So yeah, that is it. It's 40 meters is, I guess, 3 on that distance spacing. Maybe that will increase to be more when I start going quicker, to give more of a gap. I don't know. Let's actually see that. I'm curious. Let me just wait for this white car to pass and change lanes just by indicating. So I'll be way too close here and it'll back me up. let's just for a minute go in the fast lane, increase the speed a little bit, and I want to see if that speed there will go more than 40. It's taking a little bit of time to, whoa, and pulling right in front of me. Again, the car braked perfectly. Okay, so let's see when we accelerate. That's interesting. I wonder what car it's picking up there, because now it's saying it's 114 meters away. I'll pull in front of this blue car, and then now that we are going quicker, see the distance between this car and that car. Yeah, maybe it is, because now it's averaging 50. So yeah, it must be based on, it's not just a set distance, it's based on how quick you're doing. It probably has a formula and it works out how far to put you. But yeah, I find 3 to be like a good setting. Like, I don't need to be any closer to that car in front of me than it is right now. What else is there to talk about? I've got SunnyPilot running. You can have the standard, it's Comma Ai OpenPilot, I think is the standard one that comes with every device. And then off that you have different, they call them forks, like different versions of that. And to be honest, it was a year ago that I installed it all. At the time, SunnyPilot was getting the best reviews. Everyone was saying it drives the car in the best way. So I installed that, and I have been happy with it. On that note, when I first installed it, or when an update happened, it was holding a little too close to the left. So it was, on a motorway it's fine, but on smaller country roads it was hugging the left shoulder a little bit too much. And I'm pretty sure that, or at least the setting that I've got it on, it adapts based on how you drive. So I just would correct it, or I'd leave it all on, but I would just keep the car more in the middle of the road. And then it's still sometimes a little bit close to the left, but nowhere near as close as it was before. So it did, my theory is that it did learn, it adapts based on how you drive. So if you do get one and install it and the same thing's happening, just give it, I don't know, a couple of days of you correcting it and see if that improves it. But yeah, let me actually drop the speed back down. For motorway driving, it's amazing. It's really, really good. I've been driving for an hour and a bit, and hour and 15 minutes now, and yeah, it's great. Another thing I wanted to show you is, if you're on a phone, my phone is locked, I'm not actually on it, I'm just holding it. Let me actually flip it over so I can't even see the screen. And let's see how quickly it takes. If I was, there you go already, pay attention. So if I look down, look at my phone, I looked up there for a moment, I think it does track your eyes. You see there, it can kind of tell you, that little thing there tells you how your face is orientated. But if you were to be looking away for too long, or looking on your phone for too long, it will increase its beeping, and then I'll show you here, it'll deactivate the car. It'll start beeping red there. That's interesting. 1 minute left, too distracted. I wonder what that means, 1 minute left. But yeah, now I'm back to full manual mode, just me driving it. So yeah, for motorways it's perfect. I will now show you what it's like on some smaller roads. I'm driving to Birmingham right now to see a friend, so I'll turn the cameras back on when I'm on some different roads. Okay, we're off the motorway. I normally always take over on roundabouts. Just for the video, let's... yeah, it's all over the place. Let me get back into the lane I need to be. So yeah, I just take over on the roundabouts, I let it do its thing, but then as soon as I'm done, if I've not pressed the brake, it doesn't disengage. So if you look at the color there, around the rim, it's gray when I'm accelerating, and then when I let off the accelerator, so now I'm choosing the acceleration. If I fully let off the acceleration, it goes green and it's taken over again. So I'm allowed to go 70 on this road, so I'll bump it up. I've set it to bump up incrementally in, I believe I do that on the 5, on the car's settings, but when I bump up the speed, it jumps up by 5 miles an hour. It just saves you having to press it so often. So bump it up to 70. It'll accelerate up until that car and then start slowing down. Or if I wanted to, I could change lanes again, just indicate, does it for you. It's actually very impressive how it will do that even when you're on a not super tight, but when you're banking on a corner, when the road's bending around. It's impressive how well it navigates it. Kind of what I mean by that is, say you're doing like a gentle-ish right turn, if you indicate to go back in that lane, it does it really gently. It doesn't overcorrect and then force you to recorrect again. It just does the whole thing really smoothly. So this is how it works on smaller roads. It used to have a feature that worked really well. I used to love this feature, which was it would follow the car that's in front. So, for example, if there was a pothole and that car avoided a pothole, it would follow the exact line of that car and we'd also avoid that pothole. But yeah, with one of the updates, it meant that it would stop the car's actual safety features, which are if a car slams on its brakes and you're actually about to collide with it, the car will pop up and give you a warning. I can't remember if the Kia EV6, if it automatically will brake for you if you're about to crash, or if it just warns you, but with SunnyPilot it was saying that it would deactivate the car's inbuilt safety features, and I didn't want that, so I turned that off. But that was one feature on one of the older versions, because it just updates on its own. So one of the previous versions before it updated that I really loved. Just the main thing is the potholes. Like in the UK, the roads aren't the best. So letting the car in front of you do the driving for you was just a really good feature. But still, it's good as it is. Like I mentioned before with the lane, it used to be hugging. It used to drive kind of more like this, which is just too uncomfortably close to the shoulder there. Now it does sit a lot more in the middle of the road. And yeah, often what I end up doing on roads like this is deactivating the full self-drive mode and just have the steering on. So I would be able to, just with one pedal, I would be able to choose how much acceleration I want, and then it feels like you can slow down for corners if you want to. It still does a great job with corners. Let me turn it on again. Again, I'll always take over for the roundabout. Foot on the brake there to take over for the roundabout. And then I'll reactivate it again. I knows it's a 30 zone, so I think it's choosing to go slower, choosing to stay 30 right now. Even on smaller roads like this, there isn't really too much to say. It just works, and yeah, it's good. It's really good. If there's a corner that's too tight, then it will beep and say not enough torque, because it can only put a certain amount of torque into the steering wheel. So that's the only other time. So roundabouts, and then if a corner's too sharp, is the only other times that you really have to take over. Like here, it's avoided those cars that were just there. It's keeping us a nice distance from this car in front. Here, it might not choose which lane to be in. I want to go straight, so yeah, it's doing a good job of that. And then, yeah, it just pulls off as that car pulls off. Sometimes, if you stop that traffic lights for too long, you either have to tap the pedal, the accelerator, or I think you can do it there. You can reactivate it. Just if the car's been sitting for too long, it goes into sit mode or so. I don't know what mode it goes into, but yeah, either the accelerator or that button there to get it going again. The install process, I'm sure you can find a bunch of other YouTube videos where people explain properly how to install it, but for this version, I'm pretty sure I would have had either the first Comma Ai unit that was paired with a Kia EV6, or one of the first, because let's just wait for it to stop, because you have to wire it into this harness, and it's designed to be just all plug and play. So this kind of bypass or like integrates into the I think it's the camera or LiDAR that's in the car. Like here, I have to either press the accelerator or the button, or this button here, to get it going again. So the harness, it's meant to be a complete plug and play system, so you just have to pull this off, connect 2 wires, and that should be done. But because it's designed for the American version, the harness that they gave me didn't work with it, and I had to unplug like all these tiny wires. I think there was 8 wires in total. I had to disconnect all 8 and then reconnect them in a certain way. So I ended up mapping it to, I think I tried mapping it to an Australian version. That didn't work. I had to map it to a Japanese version, and that still didn't work. And each time it takes a while to pull out all these wires. I'll put a just trying to figure out where I need to go here. I'll put a picture up of what it actually looks like. I'm sure I have one on my phone. And then I remember I was trying it for like 2 days to get it to work, and I was having no luck. And then finally there was a guy on Discord, I think he was the developer of SunnyPilot, the version that I'm using, or one of the developers of it, either the creator or someone who worked on their team. And he gave me one version, like configuration of these wires to try. I think that didn't work, and that was when I was almost ready to just give up. Like, I was ready to give up. I tried for like 2 days to get this thing to work, and then he gave me one other option. He was like, try this, and that worked. And ever since then, it's been perfect. It's been flawless. But there's probably more people in the UK who are driving with this now. So if you are going to buy one and you're based in the UK, then you can probably just write to them and say, I've got a UK, if it's a Kia EV6 or the Hyundai, because I think they both work really well with those cars. Just write to Comma Ai and say, I want it for the UK version, give them the year number of your car, and hopefully by now they've got a version of that. Otherwise, drop a comment and I can I'll have a photo of what actually worked, and I'll be able to send that to you, or it'll be included in this video. But yeah, going back to sometimes the 1-foot pedal driving, like here, I'm not really touching the steering wheel. It's managing these. This is like a small road now, and it's managing it quite well, and I'm just choosing how much to accelerate. Let's see how it manages this. There, I felt like I was getting a little bit too close, so I got us a bit more center on the road. I just don't want to curb the car, so yeah. So yeah, a road like this, it will be like a hybrid. I'll jump in every now and then, but still probably able to let it do 80 or 90%. Like here, there, you see there it said take control, excessive. I knew that was going to happen. For the video, I was letting it I was pushing it a bit more than I would normally, but you get to know if a corner is going to be too much for it, and you just do that one little adjustment. This road is properly windy. Or, yeah, there, excessive. I was going to say, if you slow down a little bit, like here, if I slow down just a little bit, then I don't need to jump in and make an adjustment. But again, the more you drive it, the more used to it you get, and you figure out kind of how to work with it. The fact that it can be as good as it is on such a small, narrow, windy road is still really impressive. I've driven a Tesla, but not with its FSD, whatever it's called, full self-drive. But I'd be very interested to see how it compares to this on really small, windy roads, because everyone in America is saying how incredible their full self-drive is, Teslas, but the roads in America are massive. You're not going to get a road like we were just on. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see and compare how that full self-drive is. I don't even know if full self-drive is legal to have in the UK, or if they've even pushed it out to the UK cars. I know people can buy it with the car, but I don't know if that gives you just added features like when you're on a motorway to pull off on the junction and stuff like that. Yeah, a road like this, now that it's bigger, I'll just put it back onto full auto, and then that car in front can kind of be a pacemaker for me. It's also got a feature where even without that car, it will slow down. Like, that car's too fast, so I'm not keeping pace with that. It will slow down if it thinks that the corner if it's going to take the corner too quickly. It will slow down in anticipation for that corner. That's a feature that you can toggle on. Yes, there I felt it slow down just for that corner. Is it doing it for this one as well? I've set it to 55 and it's choosing to stay just under 50. And let's see what it does here on this bigger corner up ahead. It's accelerated to 53. Yeah, slowed down to 50, 48. It's doing actually really well on these roads, on these windy roads. Going onto a straight now. Let's see if it accelerates to 50. I could actually go up to 60, so let's bump it up to 60. The speed limit on this road is 60. Let's see what it does on the next biggish corner. If it slows down enough, or it'll force me to take over. Because yeah, we're going pretty quick now. Yeah, it's done really well. It's doing really well, actually. It's a bit slower than I would slow it down if I was driving, going to 40. But it's still managing the corners. Maybe it's preempting that. I did have it set, now we're in a 40 zone, I did have it set before to follow the speed limit, but I found that to be sometimes a little bit annoying. But yeah, I'll bump it back down to 40. That's where adapting this button so that it jumps up in increments of 5 miles an hour is really good. So it was set to 60. For me to drop it down to 40, it's just 4 clicks down. And then we're now doing 40. So yeah, I'd recommend setting that. You can set it to increments of 10 as well. I found 5 is a happy medium. And then we've got the national speed limit up ahead, so I'll put it back to 60. Yeah, let's put it to 60. What's also impressive is how it will operate, doesn't matter the gradient of the hill. I was driving in a town and it was a really steep hill, and I was just very impressed at how it was managing that with the integration of the car, because all your acceleration and all of that changes when, yeah, this corner was too much for it. your acceleration changes when the angle is that much. The car will accelerate that much quicker when you're going down such a steep hill. But it was doing a perfect job of it in the town, which was, very impressive. Not much else to say. That kind of wraps up my review of the Comma AI paired with the EV6. If you've already got an EV6, I would definitely recommend getting one. For us, it kind of, I'd seen videos of how good it was and I really wanted to get it, so that did have some influence on us getting this car, the Kia EV6. But if you've already got one, it's kind of a no-brainer to get one. Thanks for watching, and I see you on the next one.